I never should have taken that dare. It was just before Halloween, and three of us, me, Troy, and Selena, were restless, riding around the edges of our nowhere town looking for a thrill. Nothing ever happened in North Elmswood, but that night, the sky was low and full of bruised clouds, and the air had that coppery taste that warned of something brewing. "Let's go to the Granger place," Selena said, her voice casual, but her eyes glittering with a dare. Troy raised an eyebrow, but I laughed. The Granger farm was a legend around here. Everyone had their own version of what happened. Crops failed. Animals turned on each other. Mr. Granger lost his mind. People said he fed the soil with more than fertilizer. Then he vanished. Just gone. The farm was declared abandoned in '97. Since then, it stood alone at the end of Granger Hollow Road, half swallowed by weeds and silence. We parked near the rusted gate, the wind tugging at our jackets as we stepped into the tall grass. The trees lining the field stood like sentinels, their limbs bare and jagged. As we approached the house, the barn loomed behind it, taller than I remembered. It had a lean to it now, like it was listening. The house was a ruin. Window panes were gone. The roof sagged. The front door swung back and forth like a pendulum. But something about the barn drew us. Its wide doors were shut, but the slats gaped with shadow. "Inside for 10 minutes, Selena challenged. "We all go in. Phones off." I wish we had said no. Inside it smelled of rot and iron. The air was thick, still, but not dead. More like waiting. Our flashlights barely cut through the dark. Dust floated like ash. Farm tools hung on the walls, most rusted, some broken, and painted across the back wall in dried brown-black strokes were the words, "The harvest is not done." Troy laughed nervously. "That's new. Too new," Selena said. Her voice had dropped. I could hear her unease. Then we heard it. A soft, wet, dragging noise from above. Our light snapped to the loft ladder. Something was up there. Watching. I saw it first. A figure moved, tall, stiff, like a scarecrow, but its joints bent the wrong way. Its limbs were too long, like someone had stretched it out past human proportions. And when it stepped down onto the ladder, it made no sound. We ran. The thing didn't chase us. Not then. It didn't have to. That night, I found something in my coat pocket. A dry, crumbling corn husk, tied in twine with a sliver of what looked like bone tucked into the knot. I hadn't noticed it before. None of us had. But it had been placed there. "The harvest remembers," it said. That was just the beginning. Over the next week, we tried to move on. But the feeling didn't leave us. Selena had nightmares. Troy started skipping school. And me? I started seeing the thing in reflections. In the corner of my room. In the gaps between blinks. I started researching the Granger farm. Records were spotty, but one thing kept coming up. Failed crops, and a pattern of disappearances. Mostly vagrants, a few kids over the years, one unlucky sheriff's deputy back in 1998. Nobody ever found anything. But each fall, around harvest season, someone went missing. And every missing person had one thing in common. They'd all been to the farm. I went back. Alone. I had to. It was pulling at me. I brought a camera, a flashlight, and a crowbar. The barn was quieter this time. No wind, no birds, just that thick silence. Inside, the tools were gone. So was the writing. But the smell was stronger, copper, earth, something sweet and foul. I moved toward the back and saw the trapdoor, one I hadn't noticed before. It led underground. I climbed down slowly, the air growing colder. Roots snaked through the walls. It wasn't a cellar. It was something older, deeper, carved by hand, lit by old lanterns, still burning faintly, as if waiting for someone. That's when I saw them. The husks, rows of them, human-sized, wrapped tight in dry corn leaves and twine. Dozens, maybe more. Some moved, slightly, as if breathing. I turned to run, but it was there. The harvest man, closer now. I could see its face stitched together, mouth sewn shut, eyes burned into burlap. It didn't move quickly. It didn't have to. I froze. My flashlight flickered and died. It whispered without opening its mouth. "You came back." I don't remember running. I don't remember getting to my car. But I remember the voice, and the feeling of something being planted inside me. Since then, I've been changing. My skin itches. My fingernails have darkened. I dream in soil and ash. I wake up with dirt under my fingernails. Selena disappeared last week. Troy won't answer his phone. I think it's calling us back, one by one. I can hear it now, even when I'm awake. The harvest is not done. And I think this time it wants more than blood. It wants roots. It wants to grow something new. I made my choice. I wasn't going to let it finish what it started. Armed with fuel, salt, and a sledgehammer, Zerenya, I returned to the farm under a moonless sky. This time, I wasn't afraid. I had nothing left to lose. I smashed every lantern in the underground chamber. I poured gasoline across the husks and the ancient soil. As the harvest man emerged from the shadows, its long limbs twitching with rage, I lit the match. Flames roared to life. The husks screamed. The harvest man shuddered, caught between dimensions, its body flickering, unraveling in the firelight. I dragged myself out just before the barn collapsed, a pillar of smoke rising into the night. It's over. The dreams have stopped. Selena came back 2 days ago, confused but alive. Troy showed up at my door this morning, thin but whole. The land still smolders where the barn stood. Nothing grows there, nothing ever will. Some say you can hear whispers in the ash. But I don't listen anymore, because the harvest is done, and I survived it.